Hey, hey. Hi, guys. All right. Just FYI, my videos are no longer processing. We go through this. It seems like every time we do updates on when YouTube is doing updates behind the scenes. So it means that everything is significantly bogged down. So I don't know when you guys will see videos that I am creating behind the scenes for you. I will release them when they are done processing. But in my experience, when we have these updates, which there's been more of them in the recent months than what I've ever experienced in 5 years, um, it can take days. So I'm not sure what's going on behind the scenes, but usually it's when we have new updates that will be rolled out. So I'm just gonna give you guys a heads up. It's I will continue to do what I can, but there's not anything I can do when there's updates happening. So with that in mind, though, I'm going to do this one live stream and we'll see how this goes. I may have to take it down as soon as it's done so that it can process, as is what's happening. So we'll just cross fingers and hope. But I wanted to say hi. Also, I still wanted to go live at some point today, and we'll still go ahead and do some storytellings for you guys. But yeah, I was hoping some of the glitches would get smoothed out before then. All right, so we start with a 10 of Wands. We have a Knight of Cups, and we have an 8 of Pentacles. Hi, Revel. Hi, CL. Great to see you guys. That 10 of Wands it's stress that somebody wants to lay down for sure. And with the Knight of Cups, look, I'm going to say that we have a divine masculine who is thinking about either a relationship that has been more or less solidified and turned into stone in their memory bank. It's like, if we put something in a drawer and, lock it shut, it's like that's where that memory has lived. It's where they want to go, but I don't know how you take action when something has turned to stone. But we do have this horse that is racing, running, and we see him working on things. So maybe this says that we're very close to hitting the year of the horse, right? That's going to be February 17th, where we shift into that next Chinese zodiac. So it could be that he's thinking about this for, the not too distant future. We do have the Empress here. Hi, guys. Nora A, Rohita Beauty. Wonderful to see you all. We do have this forward motion in his mind anyway. What I think is so significant about this is that first card says, look, I don't care anymore. I don't want there to be huge stress anymore. What I want is to figure out a way to thaw out or, get myself moving toward the Empress again. I don't want to constantly be afflicted with, oh, but there's this problem. Oh, but there's that problem. I don't care about problems anymore. I care about going where I need to go. We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse, but the realization is still, but despite this very positive mindset shift and despite a determined, intention, we still can see him say, but I probably still can't make it happen instantly, but at least the mental obstacles are over, right? So we have him pretty clear on where his heart is, what he wants, and full steam ahead. Can it happen quickly? No. Wheel of Fortune upright. It may not happen quickly on his part, but he may have a little help from the universe. There may be something here where it's like he's already anticipating things are going to take a lot longer. And this says, oh no, a doorway just opened, a channel that wasn't previously even visible or, possible has suddenly, notice how everything's in this alignment. And this could feel like a very rare alignment. It's as if there is a direct beeline to, I'm going to say, this Empress. So our Empress, of course, could be a Libra or Taurus, but she also perhaps has shown up as a water sign. He may be a fire or an earth sign, but I don't want to commit to that. For the Wheel of Fortune, we have Taurus, we have Aquarius, we have Scorpio, and we have Leo. So let me continue on. Hi, guys. So great to see everybody. Lots of love to you. Okay, Knight of Pentacles. We keep getting all these knights, right? We've had 3 of them already in this story. So knights are action takers. It said, he's saying, well, it's going to take, it's not going to happen fast. But then I said, oh, but a doorway is opening up. But then he keeps saying, but it's going to take a long time. hang on, we need to go to the universe because the universe is trying to give him some kind of a message here. Oh, let's go with this deck for the universe. We need something cosmic, right? So hang on, universe, what are you trying to say? Five of Wands. The half of him that keeps saying it's going to take still a long time is the half of him that is, kind of melted and googly eyed and used to problems. The other half of him is much more clear. That Five of Wands says he's overthinking things. There is an answer. And it's funny how on the side that is not, kind of like mushy and melting, we actually have this little outline here of, like a bird of prey cawing, and it's like, I'm literally hearing like hawks, screaming in my head. I feel like the universe is trying to like shriek at him. Stop saying it's going to take forever. Don't set yourself up for that. This is your time. You just made a decision. You unburdened yourself, which means think of like, okay, anybody who's ever carried something really heavy, you know how it's like every step weighs 10,000 extra pounds. And then when you take it off, you literally feel lighter. I feel like that's what the universe is saying. Notice you're lighter. You don't have to be bogged down. You can go, go, go. Hi, everyone. So wonderful to see you all today, wherever you are in the world. We have the Knight of Cups sideways. We have the Queen of Swords upright. The universe is saying, this is you, sir, blocking yourself. You are still imagining some kind of blockage that you said you weren't. She's very clear, and she's very clear in your mind. So when you think about this, if you're getting worried or concerned, maybe she doesn't want me to come toward her, maybe she has a boundary against me coming toward her, the universe is kind of nudging him to say, stop thinking about that and think about what you need to do. Now, this does not mean to trespass on somebody's boundaries, but I'm thinking that he already knows what she wants is a truth, which would mean you need to talk to her, which is exactly what you want to do, but you're talking yourself out of it saying, but maybe she doesn't want to hear anything nice that I have to say. Look, she'll still get to decide. If you try to approach her and she doesn't want to hear it, she's going to hang up on you. She's not going to respond. So that's not even a worry. There's no reason to prevent yourself from, attempting to reach out in this situation when you already know what she actually wants is the truth, which usually the truth has to be spoken or shown, but saying, yeah, but what if she doesn't want to love me? Well, that is up to her, but she won't know until you speak a truth to her. We've got the Hanged Man in the reverse. The universe is like, quit procrastinating. I think he has a habit. We've got this philosopher's beard. Look, love philosophers, right? But they do think. And they do think, and they stroke their beards, and they do the deep thinking. And they come up with, like in philosophy, it does take time to perhaps, evaluate if a thought process has merit or not. That's the whole point of considering it to be philosophical, because it's like trying to find something indisputably true that can be applied. But it does take time to sometimes we have truths that just pop into our head and we got the world's greatest bumper sticker and it's so true and it's so perfect. And then other times, we really have to process ideas. But in this case, it says you processed enough. The whole reason she flew away from you in the first place is because you were over processing, perhaps. I feel like he has a habit of being a master procrastinator and a massive overthinker. All she wants is a truth. And the universe is nudging him saying, it's just time that you go ahead and speak truth. No more thinking. Now is the time to act. Now is the time to speak. No more thinking. No more setting dates of somewhere down in the future, somewhere not fast, even though, then you didn't really unburden yourself from much of anything if you instantly replace it with another huge, heavy burden of, I must wait, I must go slow, I must go on and on and never actually decide what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's go back and ask, are you getting this message from the universe? Because like I said, it's like a shrieking bird of prey is shouting it in your ear. We have the World card sideways. There's a yes and a no to this. A yes and a no, because it's like, am I getting this message? I want to get this message, but Okay, maybe they are getting a little bit more clear. So the world card, if it were upright, we'd be like, all right, slam dunk, he's getting the message. It's, totally landing its mark. Instead, it says he still is asking himself, like, can I move forward? Can I reach out? Can now be the time that I reach out? What's great is that he is able to get more excited about the concept of, what if the outcome was amazing? What if we were so happy together? Oh my God, this is, we all have to have a good motivation, right? The same way it's nice to have a vacation planned for, up ahead, for later on. You want something to look forward to. It's always better. I think our life is better when we have something positive to look forward to. And I do think she could be the thing that he's, really positive to look forward to, and that's starting to win out a little bit. That's possibly, you know going to become more front and center. We have 6 of coins. He's getting more balanced. So he is getting the memo from the universe, because everything is getting a little bit more smooth, a little bit more, I don't know. I'm not saying he's 100% there, but I am saying he's getting a lot more leveled out. He's having more hope and less procrastination, because he's thinking about what it could be like if everything went really, really well. I don't want to talk anymore about his obstacles, because he's getting on a more positive jag, in his mind. It's like, okay, could be great. Oh God, it could be so amazing. Oh, it could be the 10 of Cups. It could be incredible. So can we just stay on him for just a second and say, if you are having this gentle transformation in your mindset away from obstacles, if you know the universe is saying, quit waiting, quit delaying, then what action do you take? Let's keep this simple. What action does he take? We have a 4 of Pentacles upright, but we still have that Hanged Man. Now this time it's the perspective card, but that's Hanged Man in any other deck. But he is up above the fray, and he's here looking up at the tree of life. I mean, he has held back for a very long time, and maybe he's able to finally say, the reason I have held back for so long is because I had to either get myself prepared for this. I had to get some things in my life organized. Okay. So maybe he's, having that look in the mirror and saying, I did the things I did for a valid reason. Almost like he has to justify it in his own mind, why it's taken so long before. And I can understand that. Like, don't we always pre-rehearse something that we're going to say? Well, not always, but let's just say anything that really matters. If you go into a job interview, even if you don't, like, I know I've had friends that like will role play, like, okay, ask me questions like you're the one interviewing me. I never did that, but it's because I have a very active imagination. So I just do it privately in my own head. I might pre-think like, okay, what is it that I'm bringing to the table? Why do I want to work there? What are the things that I think I could contribute? Like, I might already have asked myself those questions and not exactly role played it in my head, but I kind of had to have a solid idea of, this is probably what I think, and this is why I want to do the thing that I want to do, or why I'm going to be at that job interview in the first place. So I role play it in my own head. Whereas I've had friends that like, they want to physically role play it. So everybody's different. I feel like in this story, we're describing a divine masculine who is not only can be a procrastinator and take a philosophical approach to everything, which is, I'm not rolling my eyes. I love philosophers. But there is too much wasted time sometimes if we apply that to, we're going to contemplate our belly button for how many, months. At some point you got to live too. But he is saying, I now understand I was basically doing what I had to do. I was storing things up. I was holding back because I was getting myself, in this case, healed, in this case, put back together. It's like he has to role play this in his own mind so that he knows how to answer why it took him a while to unburden himself, the things that he had to deal with for himself. And he has to be able to articulate that first just to his own self. So this feels like he's in very much like preparation mode. We still don't see him talking to her. We see him talking to himself. saying, why have I taken time? It's because I had to take that time. So it actually feels really good. Five of Cups in the reverse. He's able to answer his own questions with some kind of like confidence, like, yes, this is the case. This is what I did. This is why I did it this way. This is how I did things. Okay, I have an answer for why I've done what I've done. That is fantastic. So if you can answer those things to your own self, are you now ready to communicate to the person? Yes. In a very stable, very non, like terrified way. The King of Pentacles is very stable. So we see him actually, now that he can answer his own questions about what he was working on, why he had to take things the path that he did, he now has his answers for himself, and now he can offer those answers to someone else. I see him communicating. Card of Oneness. He definitely will be communicating to the person that he feels is so very important. Look, the one thing that's great about this individual is even though they take a long time to make their choices, they also don't unmake their choices. The great thing is, like, when you've come to a truth in yourself, that is now something you can rely on. That is now something that is it. He will be an unshakable like individual in a relationship. He knows he wants his Empress. He's already decided, this is the person I'm going to be staying with. I mean, if she'll have me, this is the person I'm going to like stay connected to for the rest of my days. So she has one huge, wonderful gift here if she should choose to accept it, which is he ain't going anywhere. He wants this. He is confident, and I think he's going to show up that way. Um, I would just say it this way, definitely worth waiting for, to have somebody and something that is so solid, so confident. Anuko, Rebel, VM Leave. Hi, honey. Bees Mystic Faith, AJSRVIM. Wonderful to see you. Hi, hallelujah. Happy early birthday, Annie. Perfectionist Virgo, Lisa Boyle. Hi, babe. Bradley Bear, Chart 2, Black Butterfly 25, Living Water, Lauren Co. Shout out to you in London, babe. Parashade Humphrey, Chalita in Chicago. Sarah Louise. Hi, hun. Wonder T, always great to see you. Hi, Marikai. Wonder T. Orion Star. M Dazzles. Again, Brahita Beauty, thank you so much, babe. Nor A and CL, thank you guys. All right, I will see you again later, depending on how everything processes. All right, bye for right now. Lots of love, you guys.